guys, it's Kia from Petals Bath Boutique, and today I'm going to do a video for you on pretty much the process of how I wrap my soap. I'm using a new camera, so bear with me. This one doesn't autofocus, but it's probably the most requested thing I get. Two questions I get the most are where do I get my soap mold, and where do I get my labels? So I make my labels myself using Microsoft Word, and pretty much take a full sheet of paper. I'll shrink this down so you can see. It's pretty much a full sheet of paper, and I fit 6 labels on here. And since I'm doing this for the smaller bars, I can use the full sheet of paper this way. Otherwise, I would have changed it to landscape. Let's see, you go to page layout here, and you would go to orientation and change it to landscape, which for some reason this isn't letting me do right now. But you would go to page layout, go to orientation, and just change it to landscape. And that way you can get about 4 labels on each sheet. But for today, this is how I'm doing mine. So this is what I'll be showing you. Let me bring this back up. So I don't start a whole new one every time I do a different fragrance. So the last label I was working on was rose jelly. So what I did when I was about to move on to date night. So what you do is you would go up into this menu here and choose save as. It's going to be a Word document. And then I changed the name to date night already. And then click save, and then that way you can start your work again without, well, you can change your label without having to do everything all over again, because the ingredients aren't really going to change. Most of the design is going to stay. These are all letter boxes, text boxes. Each individual thing here is on a text box. So like here, let me zoom you in some. I like to have everything, as you turn the soap around here, you'll see that the ingredients go that way. This particular soap I use for wholesaling, so it has a barcode on it. Let's see, let me get you another one. Okay, Honeybee Harvest, I don't wholesale this one. So I like it to be like that, and then on the side it'll have the ingredients. The back will have a fragrance description and my P.O. box and everything. And then on the other side, it'll have my web address and where I'm located again. So I put the letter boxes here. And in order to type sideways like this, you're going to go into your text box tools and then text direction. Sorry, I'm not used to having to work with this camera. I'm still getting used to it. This is a Nikon D3300, just in case someone was wondering. So I went into text box tools up here, which is right there, and then went to text direction, and that allows you to change the direction in which your text in that particular box is facing. So if I click it now, you'll see that the text will turn to face the other way, or it'll face that way, but I want it facing this way. So I did that for this side as well, for this particular box. Okay, so first thing I would do is come in here and change the name. This one isn't rose jelly, this one is date night. And I get all kinds of cool fonts from fontspace.com, and they're free. So I'll put a link below for that. I'll put a link below for everything. So this is date night, and just copy, go back to home here, and copy and paste that into each one. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So I have one more down here. I'll change that one and paste, and then I'm going to change it on the sides as well, and this is in its own letterbox. So this is date night. I'm going to do this in all caps. I'll change the description in here, the fragrance description. And then to keep it a little interesting, I put these backgrounds behind it to bring some color to the labels. So you see like rose jelly. Print it like that. And there's Misbehavin' and Honeybee Harvest. There. So each one has a different background just to bring some color and interest to it. And I get these backgrounds from CraftArtist. CraftArtist 2, I believe it's called. Give me a second. And I got this program from daisytrail.com. I'll put a link below for that. It was $39.99, and if you join, like if you sign up for the website first, you get a $10 voucher. So it came to $29.99, which was awesome to me. And it's digital. You can get it as like a physical CD, but I just got the digital download. And it has like these cool, let me zoom you out a bit. Backgrounds and embellishments and things for it. And I believe this is a scrapbooking program, and I've seen some people do some really beautiful work with this, but I pretty much use it to get these cute little things to add to my labels, and when I want to do thumbnails for my pictures and things like that. You have frames here. I mean, it's a lot that this thing can do. Glitters, different fonts, you get all kinds of colors. So if you want to check that out, I'm not going to go into a lot of detail with this. I'm not that good at it. I just kind of use it to grab some things out to use for my labels and stuff. But okay, so back to the label. So I'll take the sheet, print it out, and cut them out into these individual labels. After printing them out, I buy this double-sided tape here, and I'll give you an example on one bar. Okay, so what I'll do is take one of the labels, and on this end, I'll use 2 small pieces of the double-sided tape and stick that on. And this is a bit time-consuming, but right now it's better than having to pay someone else to do it. And once like when I'm sitting working, I work a lot faster than this. Once you kind of get on a roll, you kind of move right through them. I'll wrap it around like that, and then I use one of these bags, and I make these myself. I buy a roll, a 3,500 foot roll from Packo ink, and I'll put a link below. And like I made this one just a little too small. Okay, there we go. So once I get it in the bag like this, I would seal the bottom. And this is the sealer that I used. And I purchased the 12-inch hand-operated heat sealer, and I also chose, you can buy it just as is, or you can you have the option of getting it with the trim and seal element. And I got the trim and seal element. Okay, so I'll take one of the bags and I'll set it on its back. I like to start with the front. And then I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I like to hit the corners and get that smooth, and then I'll smooth out the surface and the back surface. And when you're doing this, what you want to be most mindful of are the seams. If you're going to burst it, usually that's the first thing to burst. So let's do this. And what I also like to do is kind of keep some pressure on the top to prevent it from bubbling up. Like a balloon, it'll get like air in it and it'll get like poofy. So then I'll do the back, the front, and then hit the back and smooth that out. And I try not to play around with the seams too much because like I said, those will burst. But there you go. So this is the customizable soap label document, and each one of these is in a text box. So you can take my information out and replace it with your own. I only put mine in sort of as a placeholder, so you can kind of get an idea of how my layout is, but you can change this. You can also change, if you don't like this dark border, you can go to the corner and click on the entire label. And then this is also just a huge text box. So you would go to text box tools, and you can actually change. Let me see if I can bring you in more. You can change the outline. So you can change the color if you want to make yours blue or red, and you can change the weight. That's the thickness of it. If you want thicker lines, like a solid thicker line, and you go down to the bottom here and choose more lines, and this is where you can change the style of the lines. You have the different weights, and you also have whether you want like 2 thin lines and stuff like that, 3 lines. I'll use this for an example. So, you know, you can change things like that. Also, you can change the border around the face information. Any of these things can be changed. Even the text boxes here. Right now I have them set to no outline. But if you want to put outlines on those, you can. Let me take this back to how it was. And I have the ready to use date on the bottom of my labels. I used to have that. I don't have them on my new labels, but you can take this out. You can actually just highlight that and delete that information right out of there. And if you wanted to center this more, you can bring that down. And also the name of the soap, you can bring that down. Or if you don't want the name on the back of yours, you can delete it altogether. You can just cut the whole box out. So however you want to do it, they're completely customizable, but this is just sort of a template to get you started so you can have an idea of you know, what to work with. So I'll have a link to my website where you can download this template, and I hope this was helpful for you all, and thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.